eventual review downwards the budget size in July 2020. Those times were difficult, but the state scaled through, recovering from the downturn caused by the pandemic. Year 2021 budget was presented, titled Budget of Recovery and Sustainability. One of the proceeds of that budget was the 80% growth in the internally generated revenue of the state, and this really helped in giving good accounts of the administration's intention of good governance. On infrastructure, road construction and rehabilitation takes a vital position. The completion of Ijebu-Ode-Ekpe Road in Ogun East Senatorial District has been of immense benefit to all and sundry. Plying this route, the road serves as a major catalyst for industrial activities in Ogun and Lagos states, aiming and taking advantage of the Ijebu-Ode-Ekpe-Lekki corridor. The Aton-Lusada-Agbara Road in Ogun West Senatorial District, which has been flagged off, is due for completion in 2022. The road serves the Agbara Industrial Estate, which is arguably the biggest industrial hub, not only in Nigeria, but in the entire West Africa sub-region. Of note, too, is the reconstruction of Abeokuta-Shagam interchange, apart from the fact that this road is a major entry into Abeokuta, the state capital. It also links two senatorial districts, Ogun Central and Ogun East, respectively. In just 2 years, this administration has reconstructed 34 routes spanning over 270 kilometers. Within the same period, another set of 41 routes have benefited from rehabilitation, covering over 322 kilometers. The administration has worked on over 600 kilometers of rural, intrastate, and interstate roads spread across the 3 senatorial districts of the state.
This same road, same design, same everything has started in Epe at somewhere called T Junction.
Okay.
And it went all the way for around 20 kilometers up to Lagos boundary behind us. And then at the boundary exactly, we have this toll gate, which is done by Ogun State. And then the road continued to Ejabode town.
The Nigerian Society of Engineers is here today on inspection, together with the Chief Inspector of Koren, together with representatives of the Federal of Power Works and Housing. We've come here to inspect the Ijebu-Ode-Ekpe Road, together with the very strategic flyover. It's actually a cloverleaf at the Ijebu-Ode end of this road. This is a very strategic road. We know that it links the emerging commercial nerve center of Nigeria, which is the Dangote refinery complex, with the rest of the country. And here, as a gateway state, the government has rightfully taken the strategic move of linking that commercial nerve center to the rest of the country through our state with this very important, very high-quality construction road. We can say that without any fear of contradiction.
Also, a multimodal transportation master plan for the state that will integrate road, railway, water, and air transport systems. The implementation of the master plan has since commenced. The state is also developing Aerotropolis with the construction of an international agro-cargo airport, which will be an ecosystem of agricultural value chain
comprising of the special agricultural processing zone facilitated by the African Finance Development Bank, the African International Quality Assurance Center, which is being set up and constructed by the African Export-Import Bank, an Air Force base, a customs training center.
On social welfare and well-being, this pillar embodies several projects and policies to deliver specific benefits in areas of health, housing, security, environment, and waste management, to name a few. In the last 2 years, investment has been sunk heavily on health infrastructure and human capital development. No fewer than 100 primary healthcare centers have either been rebuilt or newly constructed and adequately equipped in line with World Health Organization standard. The target is to have at least a functional primary health care center in each 236 wards. Ambulances in the state increased from 5 to 30, with provision of 24-hour ambulance service across the state. Reconstructed the Ogun State Health Insurance Scheme to address identified lapses and make it more efficient and affordable. The incentives include upward review of salaries and allowances of health workers, provision of health insurance for about 7,800 healthcare workers, and recruitment of over 300 personnel across various cadres for Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital. Shelter is one of the basic necessities of life. It has continued to be one of the most expensive assets to own by individuals. Though it consumes the huge capital outlay, the return on investment is equally gratifying. Already, over 1,300 units have either been completed or at different stages of completion, while Prince Court at Kenta has already been commissioned. The level of work at the other sites like Kobakpe, Ijebu-Ode, Shagamu, Ilaru, and Ota are at advanced stages. In the area of security, the restructured and reinvigorated Ogun State Security Trust Fund yielded good results, and it was followed quickly with initial provision of over 100 patrol vehicles and 200 motorcycles fitted with communication equipment to security agencies. On education, a state of emergency was declared in education and initiated several multi-dimensional policies and programs that addressed all the elements in the education ecosystem. Rehabilitation of over 956 schools, celebrating and honoring academic laureates, approval of 200 million naira as annual state education intervention fund for the development of infrastructure in state-owned tertiary institutions, approval for rehabilitation of internal and access roads of tertiary institutions, approval for purchase of buses and other necessities for tertiary institutions, approval of scholarships for standing students in all Ogun State tertiary institutions, approval for the payment of bursary to Ogun State indigenes in Nigeria tertiary institutions, approval for the construction of building projects in all the state-owned tertiary institutions through counterpart fund. Ogun Teach program, which seeks to employ 5,000 teachers, is ongoing. Youth empowerment and job creation are embedded in all programs and policies. Some of the projects in infrastructural development, housing, education, and agriculture are deliberately implemented through direct labor to provide job opportunities for the youth under the Economic Sustainability Plan. Third-party contractors are mandated to engage youth in the catchment communities for the execution of the projects. On agriculture, the A in the SHARE acronym, the guiding compass of the administration, meant to ensure food security in the short term and produce for supply to other states and exports in the long term, and produce farm products needed as inputs to drive the industrialization efforts of the administration. All this achieved in less than 3 years, as the governor presented another vision for another year, tagged Budget of Restoration.
That the people of Ogun State expect that the 2022 budget will contain only implementable and critical projects which, when completed, will significantly address current structural challenges of the economy, improve the business environment, and accelerate economic recovery.
We, for the first time in the last 10 years in the history of this state, the government, led by the governor of the state, has started regenerating. We've started planting trees in our forest reserves. We've started bringing those that are supposed to be there in, and those that are not supposed to be there, we are taking them out.
We've seen a lot of investments into the state via the public-private partnership model. So we're making the state more conducive to interested investors that want to come and establish in Nigeria.
We have isolated some of the projects and activities we want to undertake in 2022, which will reflect in the 2022 budget. And principal amongst them is the rollout of the bus mass transit across Ogun State.
I believe that we can only continue to pay our taxes. We continue to help the government to be able to have enough funds to fund their programs. And And in the present time, no budget is never 100%. They are just envelopes.
I expect that there will be emphasis on infrastructure like the government has been doing in the last 2 years. I also expect that there will be a lot of emphasis on human capital development, education and health, which has been also the focus of the government.